Steven Strasburg looks to lead the Nats to an 8th straight win in Game 1. We are ready to play a full baseball game in Philadelphia today. So are our fans traveling on the road. In fact, we're ready to play too. A day Ernie Banks and any true baseball fan would love. It's a traditional back-to-back games doubleheader in Philadelphia, and we are looking forward to 18 innings, hopefully 18, of baseball. It's a good day here, a little cloud cover, but better conditions than yesterday, FP, and kind of a step back in time when you get to do this.
Yeah, the old-fashioned doubleheader, and you know, where else would you rather be on a nice Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia at the ballpark, and hopefully the Nats can take Game 1. You can't sweep unless you win Game 1.
Exactly, and Steven Strasburg takes the mound for Game 1. We knew all along this was going to happen. 5 solid innings his last time out.
Yeah, and a lot of talk about his mechanics being online. We talked about it a lot in his return from the disabled list. But the fastball average, 96.6 miles an hour. It's the highest fastball average he's had since 2010 when it was 97 miles an hour. So he was right there averaging 97 miles an hour with the heater. You could read the Braves' swings. They were late on the fastball and hitting counts. They were missing the fastball. Wilson Ramos said as much after the game. It's the best fastball he's seen Steven Strasburg have.
And the Nats, the lineup maybe have a fastball or two in it off the bat today. Denard Span's back. Bryce Harper's back just in time because the guys have been doing a great job of keeping this lineup together. And then there's a quartet that's done a good job while the Nats have had all these injuries.
Yeah, the reserves has got the job done. Next man up mentality. But you look at what the Nats have done during this stretch, and it's because of Michael Taylor, Clint Robinson, Tyler Moore, Matt Dendecker the other day contributing. So, you know, you're only as good as your last man. And when you start getting contributions from the bench right now, that's going to translate later in the season when they go back to the bench and you ask them to win a game for you late. I mean, this is all good stuff that's going on right now as they go for 8 in a row.
Yeah, the anatomy of a 7-game winning streak. The Nats have done it in just about every way possible. They're not just blasting away. They're not just dominating people. They're scoring enough runs to win. They're exciting on the bases, defense good, and the pitching fantastic.
Yeah, and it's all started with the pitching. It all started with Joe Ross on the Friday night against Pittsburgh, lockdown pitching, and that, you know, takes a little pressure off the offense. We like what we've seen from the offense in the small ball stuff, the button guys along, picking guys up, moving runners. It's been a fun brand of baseball to watch. They're banged up. They're still winning. That's a sign of a great team.
Yeah, the Nats have won 7 in a row, longest streak in baseball right now. So it's been a little bit of everything. And, of course, there's been a no-hitter in there as well and a 5-inning perfection effort by Scherzer the other night. The Nats looking for 8 in a row, maybe 9. on Massa and brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in you. Not far from the Walt Whitman Bridge, Citizens Bank Park. The Philly Fanatic. By the way, those are the jerseys they gave away here today. Fanatic alternate jerseys, they're calling them. And evidently he's ready to catch Kevin Correa. I don't think Strasburg wants to throw to him without a mitt. 77, a little muggy, some clouds overhead, but a day when the wind is blowing really hard from the left side of the ballpark over toward that triple-decked grandstand on the right. So here's the Nats lineup, and the good news is number 1 spot, number 3 spot, Span and Harper back in there. Denard's been fantastic on the road all year. He's hitting .361, third best of any hitter in the league. He's also .373 with runners in scoring position for a leadoff guy, and .342 against right-handers. So the gang's trying to get back together, and here's a guy the Nats know from his days in San Francisco, Kevin Correa.
Yeah, 76 and 96 career record for Kevin Correa, 4.59 career ERA. 34-year-old takes the mound for the Phillies. No decision on the 22nd at New York. He threw 4 innings, gave up 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 homer, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Phillies won that game 11-8. Two-seam fastball, cutter, curveball change is what the Nats will see from Correa. Not overpowering guy. Fastball averaging 88 miles an hour. He has to keep it down, mix it up, and pitch to a corner. Set the defense for the Phils in game 1 of the doubleheader. Ashley Revere, Frank Coeur, the outfield. Galvis Franco left side, Hernandez Howard right side, and Cameron Rupp behind the plate.
Umpiring crew for the first game is the crew chief, 17-year veteran Paul Emmel, Sean Barber, Andy Fletcher, Jordan Baker around the bases with him. So Jerry Meals gets the first game off.
What do you think he's doing right now?
I don't know. Just might be enjoying Nats baseball en masse and about to commence.
I mean, he should be.
107 in the city of brotherly love, and we are underway with the doubleheader, and that's a little bit outside. Denard Span 2 for 7 career against Correa. He's been on base 18 games in a row and hit safely 9 of his last 11. So 2 pitches, both outside. Michael A. Taylor was in the leadoff spot Friday night, had a double and a single, 2 runs in 5 trips. Correa 3 and 4 career against the Nats with a 3.32 ERA. 7 starts, 15 appearances, strike 1.
Yeah, nothing really to rush you with if you're a Nats hitter today. Everything between 88 and 75 miles an hour. So not a big differential in the fastball to the curveball at 75. Curveball probably his best pitch. He tries to drop it right on the plate. Not afraid to throw it in any count.
And Span will take that one that misses. It was close. Kind of an odd night last night. Nats got rained out. The Mets will play the remainder of a suspended game at home against the Reds today, and then play their regularly scheduled Sunday game. Atlanta lost, and Span will take that one on the corner, so it's the Nats 3.5 up on the Mets, and now 6.5 up on the Braves, who've lost 5 in a row.
I was talking to Kevin Correa when he was a Dodger last year, and he was telling me that he never throws a 3-2 fastball. Let's see if he does right here to the Denard Span. Might leading off the game, but he said he very rarely throws a 3-2 fastball.
Yeah, he did it.
Boy, he's
not able to take 89 on a play.
He was lying to me. His nose was growing while he told me. But he said, you know, as a veteran guy, that whenever he gets to a 3-2 count, it's amazing how he just throws some slop up there and he'll get a rollover ground ball to shortstop.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 on a 3-2 count.
Well, maybe against a veteran guy like this, a more traditional approach. Denard doesn't get jumpy or nervous up there. Well, he's had such a good year. He's only struck out 21 times all year, 19 walks, on base percentage at .354, and then Correa is going to turn one over on him, and that ball ended up out of the strike zone. Crafty veteran pitch.
A lot of run on this 2-seam fastball. Look at that thing, like a left-handed slider just took off. Really got inside of it. Some late movement, and but Denard Span had to make his decision. That ball was a strike.
Danny Espinosa, third base, in the number 2 spot today. He should see some pitches to hit in front of Bryce Harper. Danny 343 over his last 10 ball games. hitting over 260 now. Showing bunt that got Michael Franco on the move over at third. Good to see Bryce. War paint, helmet, no gloves, at least to start today, and getting ready to step in. That's a bat any team would miss. And a ball bunted straight up in the air, a little bit behind home plate. Easy play for Cameron Rupp, 2 outs.
Who's hot, who's not? Celebrate the season with American Standard All-Star Sales Event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. Bryce Harper, he's hot. 367 in May and June. 286 in April. Kevin Correa, look at the average against 300 since 2013. That's the highest in the big leagues with 300 innings pitched minimum.
They missed him here in Philly because he wasn't in the lineup the other night.
I'll just say this. If I'm facing Bryce Harper, and I know that he's missed a few days with a bad leg, I'm giving him nothing to hit. I'm going to watch him go to first base and go station to station baseball. I wouldn't give him a strike all day today if I was the Phillies. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bryce steps in, third in the league at 340. No, I totally agree with you.
He could walk 8 times today. I mean, I would.
He can hit a ball out of this ballpark one-handed. And that one fading away from his bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bryce is 1 for 3 career with a walk against Correa. Like Span and like Escobar, wearing out right-handers this year. At 341 is the 4th best average against right-handed pitchers. That ball ripped behind Tony Tarasco. STG with some early numbers for us. Where the Nats rank offensively in runs, 328. Tied with Arizona, Colorado, 341. 5th in average, 4th in on-base percentage. Top 3 in slugging. Yeah. Double-digit hits more often than not lately. And the big breaking ball. Ooh, the way Paul Emmel stood up. Thought he might punch him out, but it was close and a good take.
Kind of backed up on him. Never came back over the plate. It's a 12-6 curveball. Usually goes straight down, but he overthrew that one and backed up.
2-2 pitch. Way outside.
Bryce is doing with his hand. I think he's telling himself to stay through the ball.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him do that before.
Harper chops one foul. Correa this year 0-1 in 3 starts, 4.30 ERA. Opponents hitting him hard, 328 coming in. Harper down the line and right. Got a pitch up. You know he's thinking too. That's a great arm out there in Frank Gore, but he's going away from second base. And Bryce Harper checks in with his 41st extra base hit.
Well, if it would have been ball 4, he'd be standing on first, but it was a strike, so he's standing on second. Let's watch Bryce run, and that's the only thing I did. Once I saw this ball land, my eyes went right to Bryce Harper to see how the leg was doing. And he did not jog. He did not ease up. He went full bore around the bag all the way into second base. So everything looks good with the lower half on Bryce and the swing right where he left it. There goes the no-hitter.
And right behind him, Wilson Ramos, 2 for 3 career against Correa with a home run. And to the right side, it is right at Cesar Hernandez. The Nats will strand a runner Steven Strasburg will try to follow up Tuesday with a good effort here today. He's next. Citizens Bank Park, folks getting 2 for 1 today, and so are you. Right here on Masson, the Phillies are 13th in the league in hitting. Fewest runs in the major leagues with Ben Revere. Don't blame him. He's doing his part. 51 hits since the middle of May. He has 85 on the year, 4th most in the league. He's also in the top 4 in stolen bases with 18. And he has 6 career hits against Steven Strasburg.
I see the arsenal on Steven Strasburg. Last start through the fastball, 65% at 96.6 miles an hour. It's the highest fastball velocity this year for Strasburg. And I looked up on Fangraphs. It's the highest average velocity he's had since 2010 when he averaged 97.3 miles an hour. So we talked about being healthy, the mechanics, staying on line, being free and easy and not trying too hard to throw hard. Well, it was coming out pretty good last time with that average, and he was impressive.
Espinosa on the grass at third. Ben Revere takes a strike, 94. Strasburg, 14th career start against the Phils. 7 decisions. He's won 5 of them with a solid 2.48 ERA. .95 misses away, 2-1. Nats have beaten the Phillies 7 of 11 this year, 2-2 in this ballpark. Target inner half, Revere jammed, and Steven Strasburg basically just knocked the bat out of his hands. A little pop up to Ugla.
Ball not carrying to right field today as we set the Nats defense. Taylor Span Harper the outfield. Desmond Espinosa left side. Ugla Robinson right side. Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Put them anywhere, folks. It doesn't matter. First base, second base, shortstop, third. Probably play center field too.
Cesar Hernandez, 186 from the left side, 245 overall. .95 right by him.
You weren't seeing that early in the season from the Steven Strasburg fastball. Take the velocity out of the equation. You weren't seeing too many swings and misses with it. And we saw a lot of them in his last start. There's one right there.
And the 2-1, it's a base hit to left. Michael A. Taylor over to his right to get it. He was playing toward the line a bit. And Hernandez is now 4 for 10 career against Steven Strasburg. Early notes for you as we begin the doubleheader. the aforementioned Strasburg starts against the Phillies, but look at the ERA in what's supposed to be a hitter's haven. Phillies are 7-16 this month. The Nationals have dominated their own division since the 1st of May, 13-3. Next up, Michael Franco. Home run against Strasburg at Nationals Park earlier this year. That'll move him back. Ball 1. Checks in at 303.
Since June 2nd, leads all NL players in average with 378. He's been locked.
22 years old. Jammed. Pop up left side into foul ground. Espinosa. 2 outs. Setting up. 1 on, 2 down for Ryan Howard.
High sky today. Where's the ball? There it is. Got it.
Danny's got it. Espinosa will now run past the second base bag.
There it goes. Woo.
Bottom of your screen. He'll go out to right field. Dan Uggla will go up the middle.
That's 2 guys in motion. That's illegal motion, and that's a penalty.
The ball hasn't been snapped yet.
Okay. Still, though, doesn't matter.
Desmond up the middle here for Howard. He and Steven have had some battles. 23 at bats, 5 hits for Howard, 8 strikeouts for Strasburg.
I mean, if it was the CFL, that would be legal, but this isn't.
CFL, the stadium would be 10 yards bigger.
Right.
Nice on the changeup. Turns over 88 against the power hitting left-hander.
That's a pitch he only threw 4% of the time in his return from the DL against the Braves last start. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember it being that much. It's pretty much fastball curve his last start. That's officially the deepest I've ever seen anybody on a shift where Danny Espinosa is playing.
Yeah.
Look at it. That was close.
Howard threaded the needle out there in the 9th inning on Friday night. He hit one between Uggla and Espinosa. But a clean single to right would be lined right at Danny Espinosa.
I mean, that's right field. I mean, he catch a fly ball down the corner where he's standing.
Win. Runner on the move. And the ball deflects. Espinosa's playing shallow. And he doesn't throw because Strasburg is in a foot race to third base. And Danny didn't want to hit a moving target. So that'll be an error on Ramos after the steal by Hernandez. So they weren't concerned about maybe taking the bat out of Howard's hands.
Well, they're concerned about getting into scoring position and trying to make this a 1-0 game. So Hernandez, who's 3 out of 6 with stolen bases, is now 4 out of 7. The ball caroms off Ian Desmond. And a good no-throw by Danny Espinosa, right fielder. Strasburg did hustle over to third base. He was there in time. But when you have 2 strikes and 2 outs on the hitter, that's not that big a play. Steven Strasburg's attention right now on Ryan Howard.
Swing and a miss in the inning over. Strasburg ignoring what happened on the bases and taking care of his own business. Ryan Howard strikes out for the 77th time. No score after 1. today. Robinson, Ugla, Desmond for the Nats, 5, 6, and 7. And the Honda do-up for those three. Clint, couple of home runs this month, both on the road, Milwaukee and St. Pete. Dan Ugla, a lot of success against Kevin Correa and Ian Desmond. Now the Phillies pitching one of his favorites. 17 pitches, 11 strikes for Correa, first inning. Here's Clint, 1 for 4. Hit the ball on the button 3 times here Friday night in the Nats 5-2 win. Didn't have a lot to show. He's in the number 5 spot today with Ramos being bumped up to 4. Robinson and Taylor, the only 2 Nats in the lineup who've never faced Kevin Correa. And he goes the other way.
So we always show you shifts on defense. This, to me, is more interesting than a shift with all the shifts that are going on. Look at the Phillies infield. They're standing where they're supposed to stand.
Mark that tape, Truck.
And I think we should show this more often because you don't see it very often.
Little tapper, and it's foul off to the left.
The way the game was invented, they're standing in their positions.
Yeah.
Pete McCannon says, no more shifts.
Well, the Phillies have not had a good defensive year. They share most errors in the league with Milwaukee. 56 errors in 76 games. So maybe leave the guys near where they're used to and let them do their thing. 1-2 pitch.
I'll tell you what, Pete McCannon, one of the best baseball men in the business. You know, a true soldier here in Philadelphia. They asked him to do him a favor. They didn't know Ryan Sandberg was going to quit. Now he's the skipper of a ball club that's not playing well. But if you know baseball and been around the game, there's no one better than Pete McCannon to take over a ball club. He's one of the brightest baseball minds you'll ever come across. He's always positive, and when you really get to know him, maybe the funniest man in baseball, period. One of the best senses of humor I've ever been around. So good luck to him.
Yeah. Helpful in a tough situation, right? So Paul Emmel checking with Cameron Rupp before this 2-2 pitch. 3-2 now. Right side, Ryan Howard over to Pickett. Underhand, leads his pitcher perfectly to the bag.
Come out to Nats Park on Friday, July 3rd. Nats take on the Giants. 6:05 start. Check that box, 6:05. Celebrate Independence Day with post-game Freedom Fireworks. That's presented by Associated Builders and Contractors. Enjoy performance from the United States Navy Ceremonial Guard Drill Team to kick off the display. For information and to purchase tickets, go to nationals.com. That's going to be a fun homestand.
And the Giants have never been real fond of Washington's summer weather. So hope for a sizzling weekend when World Champions
Was it
come
2
to
years ago or 3
Madison
years ago?
Bumgarner just about wilted in the heat.
Lincecum melted. Bumgarner melted. Like literally.
Yeah.
I think it was 98 degrees and the humidity was 137%.
Felt like it. Dan Ugla, as mentioned, 6 career hits against Correa, 4 walks, 2 home runs. That's right in there. 0-2. Correa has given up 3 home runs in just 15 innings so far.
Did Paul Emmel just go hi-yah and throw his arm to the right? Is that what I just heard? He's hi-yah.
And the big rolling breaking ball is outside. It's a good umpire, 17 years in the big leagues. Crew chief for game 1. He'll get the nightcap off. Nobody works the plate and the other game of a doubleheader anymore. That was a hanger, and Dan Ugla got under it. Galvis out, Ashe in. On the way in, easier play, and Freddie Galvis was still holding his glove up well after that play was completed, trying to get a gauge on the sun. Inside the numbers, STG. Last 7 games, outscoring opponents by a 5-1 margin on average. The ERA fantastic. The defense tight. Here's Ian Desmond. Maybe just to reverse things, I'll take him as a pick to click in game 1.
All right.
He's 0 for 11 career against Correa, so we'll put the reverse jinx on it here. High fly ball right field. The wind's blowing over that way, and it's going to blow away from any fielders over there when it's in the air today.
Good hustle by Ryan Howard. He went hard, and he went a long ways for that. My click, or pick to click, or click to pick is Paul Emmel when he calls another strike. I want to hear this.
Desmond 1 for 4 Friday night.
I like click to pick better than pick to click.
Good rip by Ian.
That's where you're looking for the ball off Kevin Correa. You want a belt tie. When he's down the zone, he's got that sinker going on. He gets a lot of ground ball outs, but you're trying to elevate the ball if you're Nats hitter day against Correa. Looking for something up.
And a 1-2. That breaking ball hanging up and in. And he hits one hard to right, and on to grab it, Jeff Francoeur. Good swing by Ian Desmond, and that's go in order in the top of the second. And then Steven Strasburg about to make his 15th pitch.
Bank Park. After his start earlier this week, his first one back off the disabled list, Steven Strasburg commented that sometimes you've got to take a step back to realize how bad things are. And with that comment, he was referring to both his health issues, his physical problems, and his mechanical issues, which he dealt with through the first couple months of the season. Strasburg tried to grind through those problems, but he realized eventually he needed to take some time, get his body right, and lock his mechanics back in. He took that step back, made the adjustments, and he feels much better now as a result.
Hopefully a lot of steps forward to come. And as he grooves a fastball, that thing is way out of here by Jeff Francoeur. First pitch, bottom of the second. And on the heels of our Coombs.com sideline report, when you're talking cars, you're talking Coombs. Jeff Francoeur hits his 5th of the year.
Yeah, first pitch fastball just kind of run back into Francoeur's power zone. Hey, got to score to win. I'm interested to see if that affects Steven Strasburg throwing his fastball. If you remember against the Braves, it was the 4-seam fastball. It was straight. He has a little run to it, not sink, but run to it today that wasn't there his last start. That one came back right into the turbo zone of Francoeur.
Francoeur's 5th of the year, 145th of his big league career. There's Cody Ashe, the left fielder. And Strasburg battled back with a strike, and then this one just outside. Stevens given up 7 homers this year. The Phillies have hit 48, second lowest in the league to Atlanta. And the heartbreaking ball down and in.
In the past, when Steven got hit hard with the fastball, he would abandon it, go to curveball, changeup, maybe show you the fastball. That's why I said it's going to be interesting to see what happens after that home run. He's gone back to it.
Yeah, it's a heater that handcuffed the hitter. Hop up Desmond for the first down.
Yeah, 3 fastballs out of 4 to Cody Ashe. So I mean, that's just telling you he has confidence in that pitch. Okay, you got me for one. So what? That's going to happen.
That'll bring in the catcher Cameron Rupp with Freddie Galvis to follow. And there's a 96 to the right-handed catcher.
So fastball for a homer. 4 of the 5 next pitches fastball mid to upper 90s. I like it.
And a hook.
It's a good pitch.
Yeah, he didn't get the call, low in the zone, and a little double take by Wilson Ramos there before he threw it back.
Double take by the battery. Watch Strasburg too.
Nissan shows the whole ball was in the zone. 2-1. And then in on the hands, and Taylor after it, he'll cruise to it and make the catch a couple of steps short of the track. 2 down.
Good day to hit.
It is.
You jam like that and hit it to the warning track.
Next 5, and one of them's here today. The Nats will face rookie Severino Gonzalez, who's 2-2 with an 8.69 ERA. We still don't know who's pitching game 2 just yet. And then it's on to Atlanta. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night games. Zimmerman, Pfister, and Scherzer against Shelby Miller, Matt Whistler, and a TBD for the Braves on Thursday. Those are all night games in Atlanta before the guys come home. That's a nasty hook right there to Freddie Galvis. You got to pitch up, and broke up the perfect effort through 5 1/3 by Max Scherzer here Friday. Late for that one. Galvis 2 for 6 career against Steven Strasburg.
Is taking a perfect game in the 6th inning for 3 consecutive starts good?
I don't know. It's kind of becoming routine.
What the heck?
Steven throwing the ball well. That's in the dirt. Everybody can walk to the third base dugout except for Freddie Galvis. Inning over. So the good battle back. Frank Core homers on the first pitch. We've got a Mazda duo for you. His name is Michael A. Taylor. 322 with 12 runs. His last 16 ball games. The rookie playing great in the outfield. He'll bat ahead of Strasburg. Straight ahead.
Look forward to Miller time later in today's game. That is brought to you by Miller Lite.
1-0 Phillies as we go to the bottom, top of the third now. Taylor, Strasburg, and Span. And in the Nats dugout, the jersey of Randy Knorr continues to hang until Randy is able to rejoin the ball club after the untimely death of his wife Kimberly. We wish his family and all of their extended family out in California well.
They're still thinking about him. We're still thinking about him, and we miss you, Randy.
Absolutely. One of the best baseball guys you'll ever be around.
One of the best guys you'll ever be around, period.
Top of the third, Taylor facing Correa, first time. Wind has settled down here. At the start of the game, it was blowing hard left to right, just kind of a gentle breeze moving the flags now. And the breeze can't stop that howitzer right up the middle. Michael A. Taylor now hitting around .330 his last 17 games, and the Nats have their second base hit.
He's been doing a nice job of staying on top of the high fastball. This one about bell time, but watch him get on top, short compact swing. Kevin Correa ducking. But Michael Taylor getting to play, taking advantage, and looking like the player we all knew he could be. This is fun to watch him go.
Steven Strasburg, 3 sacrifice bunts this year. Foul on that one.
I watched the video of Correa's last start today against the Yankees. Brett Gardner led off the game with a base hit bunt. He had trouble fielding the baseball, bending over and picking it up. So when you look at Franco at third and Howard at first, maybe just softly back to Correa is the place for Steven Strasburg. He's got good speed at first.
Well, I'm seeing an out call, and Michael A. Taylor is safe at second base. That's not a force play. Once Strasburg is called out, they'd have to tag him out. So that will go as a sacrifice.
All right, let's all check this one out again. Tag Strasburg, so now it's a tag play. The force is off, and Freddie Galvis didn't know that he had to tag him. Probably didn't see Cameron Rupp tag Steven Strasburg. Watch, this a sneaky little tag right there. Boom. Strasburg's out. Galvis thinking, we got an easy double play.
And then Bob Henley's telling Taylor, get back on that bag. And Michael got back to second base. He probably was doubtful about what had happened at home plate himself. So the Nats do get the sacrifice. No dispute from the Phillies dugout. And it'll be Span and Espinosa with 2 shots to tie this game.
So, mission accomplished by Strasburg. Yeah. I mean, probably not the way he drew it up, but, you know, just a little taparoo in front of the plate against Michael Taylor.
This plays into what you always say with a speedy base runner. You don't have to make a perfect bunt.
You don't, but you'd like it a hair more closer to the pitcher, but worked nice. So it's a sacrifice, right?
It is. I don't think Taylor was going on the pitch. You wouldn't normally run 0-2 with a pitcher in there, would you? Span will take one close to the belt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I want to know the hit speed on that.
Going down or bouncing back up?
Strasburg bunt. I want to know the hit speed on it. 4.
Well, we told you earlier about Denard's numbers. Runners in scoring position. That's the 10th best batting average in the league, and this is a leadoff guy. He'll reach out and bounce one over to Cesar Hernandez for the second out. Two-out shot for Danny Espinosa. Tried to bunt his first time up and popped up to the catcher.
Probably saw the same video that I saw with Brett Gardner. He brought the ball with him, and that's what Espinosa was trying to do his first time up. Went up towards Cesar Hernandez at second base.
Target away. Danny taking a couple. Wind kicking up a bit to right field again. And Espinosa will pull it to Hernandez. So Correa's got some guys rolling over some ground balls right now. Gets out of the inning after the leadoff hit by Michael A. Nats have left 2, trail by 1. Frank Core leadoff homer, second inning for the Achiever and you. PNC Bank with our minor league report. Taylor Jordan was pulled from his scheduled start recently at Syracuse. And down there he's 2-3, ninth rounder back in 09. 1-8 in his big league career and a .481 ERA in 16 games. So 26 pitches, 16 strikes for Steven Strasburg. Faces Kevin Correa. Bottom of the third underway. Pulled that one outside. 1-1. And this one to short, Ian Desmond. Over to Robinson for the first out. First time through the lineup. Phillies go 2 for 9. With a base hit by Hernandez and the Frank Core home run. Ben Revere is next here in the third. Popped up to Dan Uggla to start the game for the Phil's offense. They came in hitting .240. And the fastball well outside.
Looks like the thick eye black is back. Bryce is the same way today. Look at that. Trying to cut down the glare. Remember when the stickers were big? Never loved the stickers. Yeah, Bryce has got the thick eye black going. Felt like you were playing with Band-Aids on your face. And every time you crunched your face up a little bit, you could feel them. Danny just going straight shades.
Three-one to Revere, lifting the ball to left center. Denard Span tracking it. Taylor was right there as well. 2 down.
Join the Nats on the July 4th Independence Day ball game, the third installment of this season's Patriotic Series that's presented by SAIC. Be a part of the Salute to Our Country as the Nats take on the Giants. 11:05 in the morning start. Get your day going on the 4th in the right place, the place to be, Nats Park. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today. Besides opening day, my favorite day of the year, 4th of July at Nats Park. It is awesome.
Saturday brunch with the Nats. Strasburg with a good fastball. 96 outer half to Cesar Hernandez. Clean hit to left, a stolen base his first time. Went to third on the throw by Ramos. Got away from Ian Desmond and then was stranded. Strasburg went to work on a pop-up and a strikeout. Bringing that breaking ball back in. Strasburg, third time against the Phils this year. A 4-1 win at home April 19th. 7 1/3. His longest outing of the year, a run on 5 hits. And then May 23rd, Nats lost 8-1. And he didn't go 4 innings in that game, and that was the start before his last one at Cincinnati when he had to walk off the mound after 1 inning. So rejuvenated, back, and making his second straight start here. Challenges that hitter, breaks his bat with a power guy Franco on deck, and a good 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third for Steven Strasburg. Bryce Harper out of the lineup for a couple of days. He's already checked in with a double. Leads off in a moment.
Yudel Escobar, Denard Span, or any of your favorite Nats of the 2015 Major League All-Star Game. It's in Cincinnati coming up here soon. Be sure to visit nationals.com/vote before voting closes on July 2nd, 11:59 p.m. Vote for the Nats up to 35 times. You can be eligible for 50% off a ticket offer. So vote. Sit at home, get on your computer, and vote.
Bryce, 41 extra base hits. I think there are 3 legitimate Triple Crown candidates. Nobody's done it in the National League since Joe Medwick of the Cardinals back in the 30s. Bryce, Paul Goldschmidt, John Carlos Stanton, but Stanton now out 4 to 6 weeks, surgery for a fractured wrist. A crippling injury for the Marlins, already 14 games under.
Crippling injury from baseball in general. I
absolutely
enjoy watching him play.
And Todd Frazier's up there in homers and RBIs, but he's hitting in the 200s. Goldschmidt 351, Harper 340. big breaking ball. 0-2. There's that 12-6 you mentioned.
He usually backs it up with a shorter one on the plate. We'll see if he doubles up on the curve. Bryce way out in front of the 78-mile-an-hour curve.
Mercedes-Benz on that pitch track, a nasty curveball. Bryce has been good with 2 strikes this year. He'll hook that one. Actually got a good part of the bat on it. But Hernandez throws him out to start the 4th inning.
Bryce
3 consecutive assists, by the way, by the second baseman against left-handed batters.
Yeah, Correa starts getting the ground balls. You know he's staying down the zone, but I watched Bryce run to first right there, just kind of taking it easy, being smart. Whenever you strain a hamstring, short, choppy steps are the best way to keep that thing from getting any worse.
Dan Coco mentioned during Nats Extra before our game today that decisions on Span and Harper for Game 2 will be made after Game 1 by Matt, as well as who's going to be the starting pitcher. A lot of things in the air right now for the Nats. For the nightcap, just trying to take care of business here. And the big thing is, if you win here, you win the series already. And then do what you have to do to try to get the sweep. But be careful with certain guys. Way outside, 2-1. It's possible the Nats could gain 2 games on the Mets today and a game and a half on the Braves, because the Mets will have 2 results by the end of this day. Their suspended game is now in the 8th inning, 1-1 still.
Got to take care of this game first.
Yep. Ramos upstairs couldn't get to it, 2-2.
That's always the difficulty as a hitter when you're saying, I got to elevate this guy, I got to get him up, and then he throws one higher than high. Your eyes light up, and you inevitably chase a ball out of the zone high. You see that a lot with the guys that are sinker ball guys. Doug Fister is a guy that elevates a lot with 2 strikes with the fastball.
Then down with the curveball for his 2nd strikeout today.
We said it's his best pitch, and all of a sudden Correa has it going on with the curveball. Just getting on top, 12-6 rotation. It's a good pitch.
First pitch 84 to Clint Robinson, who rolled one over to Ryan Howard first time.
I would love to know the Nats record this year on pitchers that throw below 90 miles an hour. On average.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's not great. And they're what I call BHS, below hitting speed. You know, as a hitter, you're gearing up for 95. Everybody's bullpen throws 99 now. And then you get a guy that throws in the 80s. It's a tough adjustment. Got to tell yourself, let the ball travel, let it get deep, but then adrenaline takes over. That little man in your head's talking to you. You're gearing up. And you get anxious up there because you're not used to waiting. You know, 9 out of 10 days you're gearing up to hit 95. And then you face a guy that throws 87, 86. It's a big adjustment.
Robinson, quite a take. And Jordan Baker agrees at third base. 3-1.
Yeah, not even close, at least from the first angle. That one, too.
Good at bat by Clint Robinson, the 3rd Nat to reach base today. It happens just after 2 p.m. here in Philadelphia. Nats won the first game of the series behind Max Scherzer Friday night. Inning and a half of scintillating action before the rain yesterday. And now a single admission doubleheader. First game over. Next game starts about 25 minutes later. It'll bring in Dan Uggla. Just got under one with a fly ball to left first time up. Up the middle, but because there's a shift, that's where the second baseman's playing, and Uggla gets there. This could be interesting. It looked like the ball beat him, was Ryan Howard on the bag. Called safe by Sean Barber. Pete McCannon's up on the top step.
I don't think it was a matter of Ryan Howard being on the bag. I think it was a matter of Dan Uggla just flat out beating it. And did he or did he not? You see Hernandez taking a long time and Uggla hustling down the line. Tough to tell on that one. Well, without the Exmo, it's tough, but I got him safe.
Yeah, Phillies manager back in the dugout. Dan Uggla stealing a hit. And as you said, Hernandez way too casual on that one.
Just took his time. Uggla hustling, base hit, and he continues to Ian Desmond, who besides Bryce Harper and Michael Taylor's had the best at bat.
Desmond deep short. And a play at third, but the third baseman, Franco's not on the bag. Probably the only play Galvis had. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
Yeah, Franco had trouble finding the bag watching this develop. Nice play by Galvis. You're right. With the speed of Ian Desmond, it's his easiest play, but Franco, no idea where the bag was. Foot not near the bag. And as a third baseman, you got to find the bag, and he wasn't even close. But Clint Robinson hustling too. Yeah. You know, he could have thought that ball was going across the infield, kind of jogged into third base, so give Robinson credit, busted it to third. Uggla credit, busted it to first. And now the inning continues to Michael Taylor.
Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Is that fielder's choice or a hit?
They gave him a hit.
Perfect.
Well, those are things that don't show up in the error column. Phillies have the most errors in the league.
That's the whole discussion about the team error right there.
Yeah.
You give an error to the whole team because Franco with the mental error right there, not finding the base. That should have been the last out of the inning. Cesar Hernandez with a mental error on taking his time and not knowing the speed of the runner right there, and that he was far away from first base, kind of Cadillacing a little bit. Uggla hustling. Team errors.
Taylor ahead, 1-0. This all started with 2 outs on the Robinson walk. The base hit up the middle by Uggla. And then Ian Desmond to deep short. One to Taylor. It's off to the right side again. Well, here's the test of what Michael's been doing lately. We've talked about how he's cut down on the strikeouts and he's been able to battle, make contact, and get his share of hits.
Might get that curving ball right here. Let's see.
He did. And that's buried for strike 2. Or rather, ball 2, pardon me. Count even 2-2. Big spot in this ball game right here in the top of the 4th. Phillies on top by a run. They've opened the door for the Nats. And a 2-2 strikes him out. Ball in the dirt. Rupp steps on the plate for the force, and the Nats have stranded 5 runners in the first 4 innings.
Let's go back to the second inning. Jeff Francoeur, you see the fastball kind of running right back into his power zone. It's supposed to be down the way. Had a little two-seam run to it. And Jeff Francoeur on a first pitch fastball ambush piece puts his team up 1-0, and that's where we're at, 1-0, as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Strasburg, 40 pitches, 23 strikes through 3. Franco, Howard, and Francoeur in the Philly fourth. Hot shot. Backing up Espinosa. Gloves it, spins, and throws him out. Looks like he's been playing over there for a long time.
Great play.
He is so good at every position.
I mean, the way he gave on this ball as a third baseman, you don't have time to read hops. The ball plays you. If you're playing shortstop or second, you got plenty of time to see the hops, pick out the one you like if you're keeping your feet moving. But third's more of a reactionary position, almost like a hockey goalie. And you see Espinosa staying soft right there, giving on the ball, then the spin move, and here comes the big arm. And for that great play, he gets moved all the way out to right field against Ryan Howard. There he is, the guy that just made the play at third. I mean, he's a rover.
I think he likes it too.
I think they should just call him Rover.
88 Strasburg pulling the string on Ryan Howard there. Struck him out for the 9th time in their career matchups to end the first inning. With a runner on third base.
In softball, the rover just goes wherever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have a position. That's Espinosa. Just made a great play at third. Now he's in right. Probably cruised back over to third after Ryan Howard. Roving.
And now every time we see him where he is now, we think about the play he made on Pedro Alvarez during the no-hitter. Amazing.
Roving.
That's a side door breaking ball that froze Ryan Howard. Came right in from the outside edge. Nissan will track strikeout number 3.
Well, you remember the first time up, Strasburg challenged him with a fastball at 2 strikes, and Ryan Howard was thinking about that. He beat me with the heater. I got to get ready for the heater. That curveball's not coming back. It did. And Paul Emmel with the hi-ya. And the strike 3 looking. Nice pitch.
Jeff Francoeur's homer last time up, his first career hit against Strasburg. And he'll show him the fastball. Good looking pitch. Didn't get the call at 98. Paul Emmel has not been giving the low strike today.
He's back to third.
That's a good one, 84. Danny Espinosa, ball finds him. Here he goes again. Look at that throw, but it's unable to be picked by Clint Robinson, who had to reach far to his right. Runner aboard with 2 outs.
That's such a long throw, and it's so key that he stays on top right here. You see the big high hop? He sets himself right over the top. And I don't even know if that ball really got in the dirt for Clint Robinson, did it? Maybe just at the end, but a nice play again by Espinosa, the big arm. And Robinson out there as far as he could go, couldn't come up with it, but pretty good play by Espinosa. That has to be a hit. No?
No, they gave him an error on it. Here's Cody Ashe. Tough error, his second of the year.
Tough error.
Ramos a throwing error earlier. Ashe popped up to Desmond first time up.
Do you think that was a routine play?
No, I don't.
I mean, that's what you usually go by, right, on hit and error. Was it a routine play? Or was that out of the ordinary effort?
A long throw for any third baseman. And then Ashe asking for time and getting it. There might be somebody in the Phillies media relations department doing a little lobbying for their guy to get a hit on that. That could be changed. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Lobbying is not confined to Capitol Hill. No swing on the breaking ball. Wilson Ramos took a little shot to the hand or something on that one.
Yeah, he's going to
took
go
his time and he's going to walk it off here.
Trying to get the feeling back. Can't hurt a Buffalo.
So Lee Kuntz, the head trainer, watching closely. Two count with the runner aboard, 2 outs. Short lead by Frank Gore. Inning over. Strasburg, strikeout number 4. 2 in this inning. So the error, or so-called error, doesn't bother him. We go to the 5th. Strasburg will be leading off in a 1-0 game. Sunday, July 5th, Steven Strasburg's bobblehead will be presented to the first 25,000 fans by Geico. ESPN has picked that one up at 8:08 p.m. as their Sunday night game. Check on nationals.com for ticket purchases or call 202-675-NETS. Strasburg and Sunday night baseball. Span and Espinosa to follow Steven here in the top of the 5th inning.
Steven Strasburg trying to check in with his first hit of the season. Silver Slugger hitting right there.
Yeah.
He's due.
Went around on a pitch low and away. Looking at Wilson Ramos' left wrist. He took off the tape and the glove that he had.
Well, catchers are tough, and you know Wilson Ramos is tough. If he's still feeling it, there you go. Tape an aspirin to it. That's what he's going to do.
Dr. Desmond there to help out if needed. Swing and a miss. Nasty curve is from Correa today, and Denard Span's coming in. Dan has more.
Bob, Denard Span's been on a run-scoring tear of late, notching a run in each of his last 8 games and 10 of his last 11. Every player has individual statistics that they care most about, ones they feel indicate how they're playing, and I asked Span where runs scored ranks for him. He said right up there at the top, along with on-base percentage. He knows he probably isn't going to get it this year because of the injuries he's had, but he set a personal goal for himself of 100 runs scored in a season. He'd like to get there someday. Middle-of-the-order guys want those RBIs, they want the homers. As a leadoff guy, Span wants those runs scored.
Well, that's his job. Get on and score runs.
94 in 147 games last year.
Get on, find a way to get in. That's what the true leadoff hitter does. And that's the name of the game, scoring runs. There's nothing better. Coming back to the dugout, everybody on the top step high-fiving you. And if that's his goal as a leadoff hitter, it's in your mind in the middle of an at-bat. You're on first, how can I get to second? You're on second, how can I score? How can I get to third? You're always trying to think of ways.
That ball beyond the reach of Ryan Howard. Extra bases as it heads to the scoreboard. Picked up by Frank Core. He bobbles, and now Span will go to third. And Frank Core still hadn't picked it up as of about 3 seconds ago. So should be a double and an error. And he almost allowed Denard Span to circle the bases.
So Denard Span with a double, and I want to know if I saw this right. Did Jeff Francoeur get this and throw it straight in the ground? He had a little stumble here, and that's the shortest throw you'll ever see. He just missed the cutoff man by a little bit right here. Watch. Whoops. He didn't get all of that one, and Denard Span advances to third, and now Danny Espinosa has a chance to tie the game up.
Well, here's the other thing. If that ball doesn't fall right at his feet, Span scores. What if that ball goes 20 or 30 feet away? It would have been a round tripper.
Well, he threw 40-plus pitches or 50-plus against the Orioles. I think that was his changeup.
So Denard Span trying to think of how he can score here. Third base, 1 out, tying run, Espinosa in there. Danny looking to elevate. That's not been easy today against Kevin Correa.
You know, not to make light, the game is hard. Trust me, he's down there hustling, trying to get the ball back in and hold Denard Span to a double. But there's also funny moments in baseball, and that was. I mean, you got to have fun playing this game.
This guy's one of the best right fielders that's been around in the last 10 years.
He is, but that was kind of funny.
Yeah. 0-1. Espinosa lifts one to left. To his right, Kobayashi. Span tagging. Here he comes. The throw, no chance, and the Nats have tied the game. Danny Espinosa gets the job done. RBI number 22.
Well, I mean, right on cue. Dan talking about Denard Span wanting to score 100 runs. And then we're saying you find ways to advance. So Span with the double, advances on the Francoeur error, and then tags on a short fly ball to left field, challenges Kobayashi. Nice slide by Span going to the inside with the hand on the plates. That's how you score 100 runs. Find ways. A good hustle to get to third. Good hustle on the Espinosa sac fly. Nice at bat by Danny Espinosa to tie this game at 1. Good baseball.
Bryce Harper a double in 2 trips. So right now it's an unearned run. A Bryce base hit could change that. Doesn't matter. The Nats have tied it. They've out hit the Phillies 5-2. They were knocking on the door last inning.
Spanning.
Yeah. That By the way, he's now hit safely 10 of his last 12 games, and he's been on base 19 in a row. Nothing like a leadoff guy going well to really energize an offense every day. Two and one. See how interested Correa is in Harper here. Wilson Ramos on deck, a little dinged up after last inning. .14 pitches this inning, 75 here in the fifth. This game total.
Better get it in there.
Way upstairs, Bryce Harper takes what the game gives him, and that's his 55th walk. Second of the day.
Well, for every Nats walk, like the one you just saw, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have 228 walks for a total of $11,400. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Wilson Ramos, a ground ball to second, swinging strikeout. But he's had 2 career hits against Correa, has driven in 2 runs.
Kind of Allen Iverson jersey right below us just whiffed on that one. Saw Iverson in the hotel lobby the other day.
Yeah.
So what are you up to? He said, practice.
Ramos reaching out for that one, rolling it to Freddie Galvis, and the top of the fifth is over. So the Nats will pick up an unearned run thanks to the speed, the bat of Denard Span, and an error in right field. This one back even.
Fans everywhere here at the bank, and Nats fans everywhere at Nats Park on Miller Lite party nights, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays this season. Get a game ticket plus a drink while enjoying live music before the game. That's starting at just $20. Go to nationals.com/party for this special offer.
Entering the second quarter of this doubleheader. Bottom of the fifth inning, Phillies coming up. Bottom of their order against Steven Strasburg, 53 pitches, 32 strikes. Well, now we have him officially at 54. And 33 strikes. Cameron Rupp, fly ball to left first time up, and a breaking ball drops in a good one.
'97 to a corner. So you throw that curveball for strike one, you come back to it with 2 strikes and throw it for a ball. Let's see if he does it right here.
Buried it, low and away. And Rupp cannot get to that nasty breaking ball. Strasburg has fanned 3 of the last 4 Phillies.
So as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, he could go with 97 with 2 strikes, but he threw that curveball for strike 1. And so you're gearing up to protect 97. You can't wait around to see where the curveball is going to end up when he's already shown you he's throwing it for a strike. So even though you're ready for 97, you pick up that rotation on the curveball. That's why it's so important to throw it early in the count for a strike and late for a ball. If you throw it early in the count for a ball, I don't have to respect it as much with 2 strikes. The late Darryl Kyle was the best at that. He would flip in a curveball that started over your head for strike 1, and then he'd keep progressively throwing them shorter and shorter and shorter until you're reaching, because you couldn't wait around to see if it was going to end up in the zone. You had to try to put it in play.
That was 89, fouled off. 0-2 to Freddie Galvis, the number 8 hitter. Strasburg got him on a pitch in the dirt that required a Ramos tag. First time up.
Change up, 90.
And a 1-2 pitch. It's another strikeout. 89, moving away from the left-handers. Number 6.
He doubled up on the changeup. First one 90, this one 89. Galvis gearing up for 97, way out in front. And what other time would it be? Time for Toyota Case for Kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this season.
Kevin Correa, 121 career hitter, 1 for 4 this year, bounced out to Ian Desmond in the 3rd. Right in there with 96 again. And that's it. Took him 94 pitches to get through 5 innings last time out. Much more efficient and effective, and at times overpowering today. Mascots bowling for dollars here. Fanatic trying to roll a strike.
What happened to the turtle's head?
I don't know.
And then watch this. This is where it gets super weird. He has no ligaments in his neck. This thing goes on top of its head and starts bouncing up and down.
Mascot technology is really advancing, isn't it? It's amazing. They say we could all be replaced by mascots someday.
Where am I? What planet am I on?
It's called South Philly. Here's Clint Robinson, 6th inning underway. That's outside.
I mean, what purpose does that yellow thing serve in the big picture? I mean, the Fanatic's fantastic, but that yellow thing upside down and it's eating people in the stands. Come on. It serves no purpose. None.
80 pitches for Kevin Correa. Keeps nibbling away. He walked Clint Robinson last time with 2 outs. Led to a long inning when Oakland Desmond followed with infield hits before he got his biggest out of the game, striking out Michael Taylor, bases loaded. 1-0 at that time. The Nats have equalized here. And that's in there to Clint Robinson.
In the driver's seat looking for one pitch. Trying to do some damage right here with count leverage.
Foul tip on 88. Genmar Gomez working for the Phils. Correa last time out went only 4 innings at the Yankees. 5 runs on 8 hits. His previous starts for the Phillies, 5 against Baltimore here. His debut at Pittsburgh, 5 2/3, June 12th. And another good at bat by Clint Robinson. A walk in each of the last 3 innings, 2 of them to the Nats' first baseman.
Pretty good pitch. Clint Robinson eyeballing Kevin Correa. And what a pitch track did he get? Pitch track thought it was a strike, and so did Correa. You see his reaction. Clint Robinson take his 2nd consecutive walk.
Clint 12 walks on the year, 2 of them today. And here's Dan Uggla. Cesar Hernandez playing right now where he was on that ball. It was hit sharply behind the second base bag. He took too long, and Uggla beat it out last time up. Nats box. Double in the first by Harper. Leadoff single in the third by Taylor. The aforementioned Uggla Desmond infield hits in the second. And then the big hit, Denard Span's double leading off the 5th. Actually 1 out in the 5th. After the boot by Francoeur, the sac fly by Espinosa got the Nats even. Uggla hooks one into left field. 2 for 3, Dan Uggla today. He's now 18 for 80 this year. And Ian Desmond now, a key to a big inning. Let's go inside the numbers with Jeep. Most hits against the Phils since 13. And Ian Desmond right behind Murph of the Mets. And just in front of his teammate.
Now in the division, all with 19 games against each other. And they both have a knock today.
Well, Desmond finally got that first career hit against Correa last time. A ground ball deep to the shortstop hole. Hit the ball hard first time, lined out to Francoeur and right.
Not easy to do what Dan Uggla's done today. Sit around, get a start, and get 2 hits. Just goes to show you how hard he's working behind the scenes and how much he means to this ball club.
Desmond saw one upstairs and he was hopping all over it. Ian's had 17 multi-hit games this year, second on the club to, of course, Bryce Harper, who has 25. And that ball Inside, jammed him enough. Fly ball to Revere. And Robinson not going anywhere on the first out of the 6th. Michael A. Taylor next in front of Strasburg.
He has been thinking right there. He was trying to hit a fly ball the other way to advance Clint Robinson to third with 1 out. Just kind of got in on him. Michael Taylor's had some big at-bats in this game so far. Last time he came up with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
2-2 pitch got him in the dirt that time. First time up, leading off the 3rd. Hit one hard out to center for a base hit. Good numbers with runners in scoring position. 2 of his 5 home runs. Two and 0. And you would think getting toward the end of the line here for Correa, making only his 4th start at the big league level. That one called a strike, 2-1.
It's not one you want to offer at 2-0. Michael Taylor looking for something more belt-high than this pitcher's strike from Correa.
Yeah, pitch track likes a low strike, and that time so did Paul Emmel. Phillies crowd very quiet here, as if expecting the worst. And that's in there, 2-2.
Or they're just still in shock from the mascot show between innings, one or the other.
That was shocking.
Yep.
Another 2-2 pitch. Correa to Taylor. And this time, Michael A. able to get a piece of it.
Well, you know Correa's going back to the well. That's what he struck out Michael with last time. And you see Taylor with the abbreviated swing, kind of spreading out, just trying to put it in play. You're still respecting the fastball, but you're adjusting to the off speed. And it's definitely in your head if you're Michael Taylor. You're thinking about it.
Now Jake Diekman joins Gomez. Top of the order due up for the Phils in the bottom of this inning. Another 2-2 to Taylor. And he sees the breaking ball going outside. Counts full with 1 out.
You might get another curveball here, 3-2. Just because the pitcher's on deck, you're banking that he's swinging.
3-2, runners hold, and Taylor into the left field corner. Robinson scores. Dan Uggla coming around third. Bob Henley will hold him, and Michael A. Taylor has a 2-hit day. His 27th RBI puts the Nationals on top.
Well, good at bat. He laid off the back-to-back curveballs to get the 3-2 slider, and the slider just spun up there. Cement mixer, Michael Taylor all over it. So he didn't get a 3-2 fastball. He didn't get a 3-2 curveball. He got the 3-2 slider. Pulled it down into the corner. That scores Robinson. Now Steven Strasburg has a chance to really help himself out, and that's going to be it for Kevin Correa on the day.
Yeah, didn't help himself a lot with 3 walks in the last 3 innings. He'll go 5 1/3 to this point. 2 runs on 7 hits. Strasburg into the box next.
Runners on first and second, one out here in the top of the sixth. Time for your T-Mobile game changer. Just saw it. Michael Taylor, 3-2 slider from Kevin Correa. He was all over it. And those leadoff walks have a tendency to score. Clint Robinson comes around to make this a 2-1 game on the great at-bats once again from Michael A. Taylor.
That's great stuff from your number 8 hitter who continues to produce in that spot. Danny Espinosa had done plenty of that in recent weeks. And here's Jenmar Gomez, who came in 7th inning on Friday, worked a 1-2-3 frame. He faces Steven Strasburg here. Infield in. Runners at second and third, one out.
Fastball 92, slider 85. He'll cut the fastball at 88, and his changeup is 84.
Strasburg looking for his first RBI of the year. Locked up on that breaking ball, down and away.
I don't think you get tricky right here with Strasburg. Just the fact that you're going to have to make Pete McCannon make a move. If Strasburg doesn't get the job done here, he's going to have to go to his lefty. And you're still going to have Denard Span up with a chance to drive in 2 runs. So I don't think the squeeze is in play. I don't think anything tricky is in play. You're just hoping that Strasburg can get a hit or hit a ball deep enough to center field with the arm of Ben Rivera.
He's going to bounce one up in the air. Runner at third, Ugla, stays 2 down.
And here comes Pete McCannon.
He wants the left-hander, Diekman, against Denard Span. So the Nats still have 2 runners in scoring position, Span and Diekman. Rick Shue talking all about it.
Reached base safely in 19 straight games now. He's had multi-hit games in 4 of his last 8, trying to make it 5 of his last 9 after the double in the 5th inning down the corner that Jeff Fred Kerr had a little bit of trouble with, just a little bit. And that allowed Denard Span's double to turn into more. And then Danny Espinosa lofted one to left field. And the hustling Denard Span, as always, scores from third. Danny Espinosa, nice job, and high fives in the third base dugout. That was the first run. The second one, Clint Robinson.
He's 2 for 5 career against Jake Diekman. Denard Span is.
Well, he's going to see a fastball in the mid to upper 90s, a slider in the mid 80s. I don't think he'll see a changeup from Diekman. Probably just fastball slider right here. We see Denard successful in these situations, thinking about going to left field.
And with that in mind, Phillies are definitely playing him that way in the outfield. Fastball is upstairs. Great speed at second in case you can get and hit it into the outfield. Nats lead 2-1. Dan Ugla, 90 feet in front of Michael A. Taylor. Upstairs, 2-0. They've gone into extra innings in that suspended game. The Reds and the Mets are playing 1-1. Nats lead here 2-1. And Span looks at ball 3. Way inside, bases loaded. And now Danny Espinosa will be batting right-handed. Denard on for the second time today.
Well, do you get him in the strike zone, take a strike, or are you aggressive right here early thinking he's just going to lay one in there for me? That's the dilemma you go through as a hitter in this situation. I want to do some damage, hit a gap, score everybody. Is he going to lay this first pitch in there, or am I taking all the way? We'll see what Danny Espinosa does.
Espinosa career against Diekman, 2 for 5. And that is wild. Back to the screen. Here comes Ugla. The Nats lead 3-1.
I mean, he hasn't been close. Yeah, good job of laying off this one by Danny Espinosa. Just misses. And goes to the screen. And watch Dan Ugla. He's ready. Not even a hesitation for a second to make this game 3-1.
And Espinosa will lift one to the right side for Ryan Howard. Catches the fair ball, inning over. The Nats get a big break. And they put 2 on the board in the 6th to lead 3-1.
Mercedes-Benz of Arlington, Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. 3-1 Nats. And Steven Strasburg has been great today. 7 strikeouts, no walks, 67 pitches. And he's been doing it with all 3 pitches, not just the fastball, which has been great. The curveball's been good. Watch the changeup. That's a curveball right there to Ryan Howard. Here's the changeup. No, that's a fastball. I'm all over the place. There's a curveball. But the 7 strikeouts have been with all different pitches. But I like to see the strikeouts with the fastball. You usually don't see that with the Steven Strasburg start. Today you have. Going right after guys. And that home run by Jeff Francoeur on a fastball didn't phase him. He got right back in the strike zone and just seems relaxed and confident in all of his pitches. And I just nailed that strikeout package. Absolutely nailed it.
Ben Revere 0 for 2. 2 balls in the air. And you go a long way toward protecting a 2-run lead in the late innings if you get this guy leading off an inning. Boy, he's been bringing that breaking ball back to lefties on a regular basis.
I just think he's so effective when he really trusts the fastball, because it's not an easy pitch to hit. And then he's throwing his off speed early for strikes.
And a roller to the right side. On the charge, Dan Uggla. And that is 13 of the last 14 retired since the Frank Core home run back in the second, which is the extent of the Phillies box score right now. One other hit, Cesar Hernandez, a base hit, a single. He was stranded in the first inning at third base. So Stephen Strasburg controlling a ball game as well as we have seen him this year. Here's Hernandez next in the second time up. Strasburg broke his bat on a little humpback liner to Ian Desmond. Strike one.
There's the off speed early in the count. Keeps everybody off the first pitch ambush. And now you have to respect the off speed late. And trusting your fastball and trusting that it's your best pitch, regardless of how good your curveball and changeup are, is wipeout pitches with 2 strikes. Just important for Strasburg to trust that fastball and know that that still is his best pitch.
Yeah, going right after him with 97.
Steve McCatty has to like what he's seen the last 2 outings from Strasburg.
They'll start over. One, two, and that had plenty of hair on it. 97 up and away. Full count with Franco on deck. And he just got a piece of it.
It's a lot easier to trust your stuff too when you're feeling healthy out there and you don't have to worry about my ankle or my back, my shoulder, making stuff up as you go along because of what you're feeling in your body, and being completely healthy and having your mind be clear.
Throws a strike. It's hit to left for Michael A. Taylor. 2 down here in the 6th.
Peanuts will be back at the Fist June 28th through the 30th. Again, for Independence Day weekend, enjoy food, fireworks, and fun, along with the highly anticipated Wilson Ramos Creature Deal giveaway thing on July 5th. For all your ticket promotional information, visit PotomacNationals.com. It's that guy right there in a buffalo's body, and his head is his real head with horns on it. And I think there's some sort of Nats logo on it somewhere.
Well,
it's worse than that yellow thing we saw between innings. Or way better, depending on how you look at it.
Bases empty, 2 outs. Franco out twice to Espinosa.
I mean,
want to pop up, want a hot shot.
If you're into half human, half animal things, centaur, buffalo guy things.
Fastball, he gets around late and drops it down the right field line. Hits the short corner in front of Harper. Took Bryce a moment to pick it up, but Franco had already stopped. And now Strasburg will face Ryan Howard. First hit for the Phillies since the 2nd inning.
A little inside out swing. Good approach right there. Just drops it in front of Bryce Harper. And I think Franco was running the hardest. Kind of jogged into first base and then tried to turn it on after he saw Harper bobble it, but down by 2. He just wants Ryan Howard hitting.
Strasburg has struck him out twice, once swinging, once looking, and he drops that first pitch breaking ball in there again.
It's such a good feel for it today early in the count.
Ramos sort of picked it, then he found it. Hard for the runner to see the ball in there. We're into the 3 o'clock hour now. First of 2 in this traditional Sunday afternoon doubleheader in Philadelphia. Nats got a run in the 5th to tie the game, 2 in the 6th. Strasburg facing the potential tying run in Ryan Howard here. Way outside, 2-1. Pretty big rip on 97. Counts even.
So he struck him out with a fastball. He struck him out with a changeup. And now Ryan Howard's thinking, what in the world is Steven Strasburg going to throw me this time with 2 strikes? You have to be ready for 97, of course. But let's see what Strasburg does to Howard here again with 2 strikes.
Goes with the hook.
Yeah, first time up, bottom of the 1st inning. I believe he goes fastball to Ryan Howard. So he challenged him upstairs. And then second time, I think he went curveball. Okay, curveball for the second strikeout.
Now the runner on the move, Franco. Robinson playing behind him here. And Strasburg throws a changeup that goes drifting outside. 2 on, 2 out for Jeff Francoeur. Stevens' first walk today, and he walked only 1 against 6 strikeouts last time out against the Braves. Francoeur's hit the ball hard twice today. The last time was that hot shot down to Danny Espinosa. His throw was short. They ruled that an error could have gone either way. So Francoeur's had the best swings, including that 2nd inning home run. That's a beauty to the outside edge.
Well, 97 that started off the plate, and he ran it back to the corner. And on a guy that likes the first pitch fastball, a perfect backdoor sinker from Steven Strasburg.
Jeff Francoeur able to lay off the breaking ball.
Good block. Up by 2. Big block.
Absolutely keeping the tying run at first base. Sixth inning, game 1. And a key sequence right here. Ball 2.
Pitch number 91 coming.
Yeah, started this inning at 67.
.99 on pitch number 91.
Wow.
Just missed. I don't think I've seen him throw 99 this year, or maybe in a few years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Three-one pitch, and Francoeur drops one into center. Coming around third, Franco. The Phillies are back to within 3-2 as Jeff Francoeur has another good at bat against Steven Strasburg.
I think the big pitch in this inning was the 3-2 pitch to Ryan Howard. We showed you Steven Strasburg striking him out on a fastball, then a curveball. They decided to go 3-2 change right there to Howard. And he continues to Jeff Francoeur, who has a nice at-bat, making this a one-run game. And Steve McCatty out to talk to his right-hander.
With right-handed, David Carpenter getting geared up. Kodiyashi, left-handed batter now. Tying runs at second base. 2 hits around a walk, all with 2 outs. Every inning pretty economical until here. Kodiyashi has popped to short and struck out swinging.
What a bad pitch to Francoeur, 97. He just did a nice job of fighting it off for a single.
Yeah, Jeff Francoeur came into this game 0 for 5 career against Steven. And 0-2 on a couple of fouls.
I like that he's going right after him with the fastball. Empty in the tank right here. He knows this is the finish line. But I'm getting beat with my best pitch. Here it is, hit it. Might go to the off speed here, or we'll see if he sticks with the fastball and elevates.
Goes with the breaking ball and misses low.
I don't know about that. That's a pretty good pitch. Paul Emmel might have got buckled on this 0-2 curveball. Look at Ramos framing it nice. Bottom of the zone. Strasburg wanted it. Good pitch.
Yeah.
Doesn't go his way.
Definitely a strike. Jams him. Over to get it. Clint Robinson to the bag himself to keep that ball from going down the line and maybe keeping the Nats from falling behind. Another solid effort by Steven Strasburg today. He gets help from Clint Robinson. And still on top, that's all that matters. 3-2, 3-4-5 coming up. Our Honda Do-Ups brought to you by Honda, of course. Bryce Harper this month, he's gone deep 6 times, 24 on the year. Wilson Ramos 4 times, he has 7. Clint Robinson, his first 2 big league home runs this month. So Jake Diekman has some power to deal with. Top 7. Bryce today 1 for 2, a first inning double, a 5th inning walk. And against Jake Diekman, he's 2 for 9 career with a base on balls.
Trying to get that first pitch fastball before Diekman goes to his sliders. It seems like that's the pattern when these two have faced each other in the past. Strike one with the heater, then he starts slinging that frisbee in there after that.
Bryce, a lighter colored bat than the one he started with today. And Harper high in the air. Left field. Galvis out, Ashe in. The left fielders play for the first out, 7th inning. Harper 1 for 3. Ramos next.
I'm looking at that Wilson Ramos Bufferine thing on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a buffalo's body with 4 shin guards on it and a chest protector on its chest. And then Wilson Ramos's head.
Might want to have the parents open that first.
I mean, anytime you have anything with 4 shin guards on it, no matter what it is, you got problems.
Ramos 0 for 3 today, and against the left-hander Diekman career, 1 for 2 with 2 walks.
Power zone. And that's what the radar looked like when the game started yesterday.
And Wilson takes it low. Three-one pitch in a 1-run game. And Wilson Ramos takes it outside. Phillies have issued the Nats 5 walks today. 2 by Diekman now.
Attention Nats fans, Masson wants you to upgrade your fan cave. Show us how you're backing the Nats while the team is on the road during tonight's game or today's game by tagging your tweets using hashtag NatsCouchCam to be automatically entered to win autographed memorabilia. Follow @Masson Nationals on Twitter for more information.
Well, the Nats, with no activity in the Phillies bullpen, will go with right-handed Tyler Moore here. Clint Robinson had a decent day while he was in there. 0 for 1, pair of walks, and a good defensive play to end the bottom of the 6th.
Scored a run.
He's just been great lately. Tyler Moore against Jake Diekman, 0 for 3 career. And Tyler, as a pinch hitter this year, 4 hits, a homer, 3 RBIs. It's like a quick visit from pitching coach Bob McClure.
I wonder if Diekman just took a deep breath when he got Bryce Harper out. Now kind of lost a little bit of focus, flying out of there, arms trailing, not even close to the right-hander Ramos or Tyler Moore on the first pitch.
Right-hander Luis Garcia getting ready for the Phils. Right-handed hitting Dan Uggla. Right-handed hitting Ian Desmond, the next 2 after here. And Tyler Moore takes it in there. Outer half, strike 1. Hit one here yesterday, caught by Revere up against the center field wall. And when I saw Tyler last night, he said, well, at least it got rained out, not a home run. That was a good play by Ben Revere on the kind of day when the ballpark here can play big. That's on the inside corner. That's nasty from Jake Diekman 2 down.
I don't think Tyler Moore liked the call. Let's see where the fastball from Diekman was. Yeah, right on the inside corner. Buried it in there at 97. Good pitch.
Well, here's Dan Uggla with a chance against the lefty. He's hit a home run career against Diekman, 1 for 3.
I remember watching that game. It was the Braves and the Phillies, and the Braves were making some sort of crazy comeback, and Diekman hung a slider to Dan Uggla, and he hit it out of here late. It was a big home run.
That's another base hit for Uggla. 3 in a row today. 2 on, 2 out.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Dan Uggla is playing in game 2 as well. I mean, his first at bat was a fly out to left that he hit straight up in the air, just missed it, and he's had 3 great swings after that. A couple of base hits to left, now one right up the middle, a 3 for 4 for Dan Uggla in game 1. And Pete McCannon going double switch with his ball club right here.
It's like Dominic Brown's heading into the outfield. They'll make some other changes, including Luis Garcia, the new pitcher for Diekman, with Desmond coming up. Reason for the pitching change as the Phils go to the right-hander. Luis Garcia will tell you about all their changes, with Jeff Francoeur moving from right to left. Dominic Brown takes over and right on the double switch. He'll bat 9th. Pitcher spot number 6 for the Phillies now, with Cody Ashe gone. And that'll be the right-hander, 28-year-old Luis Garcia.
Yeah, 2 pitches, fastball 95, slider 85. 35th appearance for Garcia. Lots of walks in 33 1/3, 18 of them, so you got to make him throw strikes.
And Ian Desmond's 3 for 4 career against him. Goes up hacking and pops it up. Right at the mound. Ryan Howard called it. Freddie Galvis almost got in his way. And the Nationals are gone. We go to the Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Nats still lead 3-2. They've stranded 10 runners today. Test drive the award-winning Elantra this 4th of July at your local Hyundai dealer. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Steven Strasburg's going to get stretched out a little bit here, sitting at 96 pitches after a 29-pitch 6th inning. Tyler Moore stays in to play first base. So these days, Matt Williams and Steve McCatty stretching out their starters.
Well, 96 pitches so far for Strasburg, and Matt Williams liking what he's seeing. And he also likes the matchup between Strasburg and Cameron Rupp. Freddie Galvis, who he struck out a couple of times, and Dominic Brown, who's going to be hitting 9th.
Cameron Rupp today, a fly ball to left, a swinging strikeout.
Yeah, I got a doubleheader.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too deep into your bullpen in game 1, so in a 1-run ball game, I see Matt Thornton getting loose, maybe for Ben Revere or maybe for Dominic Brown. We'll see.
Strasburg's longest outing of the year this year, 7 1/3 against the Phillies, April 19th at home. In a 4-1 win, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Strike 1, bottom of the 7th underway.
Does it feel like a 1-run game to you? I mean, I know it is.
It does feel like the Nats have more of a cushion.
Right?
It'll change if anybody gets on base, and we'll see if Steven can face Dominic Brown with 2 outs and the base is empty. Cameron Rupp, their backup catcher to Carlos Ruiz, and that's upstairs, 1 and 2.
I think that pitch might have got Matt Williams' attention right there. Whenever you're fatigued as a pitcher, you don't really lose velocity. You just start missing up. And that's a sure sign that the legs are going and you're getting underneath the ball, not able to really ride those legs like you were early in the game.
Threw the breaking ball and got a fly ball to right. Bryce Harper over toward the line. He's got the fair ball for the first out.
Big first out.
Freddie Galvis next, and Strasburg has fanned him swinging twice. Well, the Reds and the Mets might end up playing a doubleheader today. They've just gone to the 12th inning of their suspended game, 1-1. Breaking ball drops right in. Strike 1.
Call by Ramos. He's been throwing that pitch for a strike more than his fastball. '98 on pitch number 104.
Two one, and that was a breaking ball well off the plate in the dirt, and he swung at it. So some deception there for Strasburg. 2-2.
Like a lot of hitters would a 2-1 count against Steven Strasburg. You just look at the scoreboard and saw 98, so I'm gearing up 2-1 for that 98, and I got a curveball.
A little bit low.
He wanted that.
Mercedes with another borderline pitch. Wow. 3-2. Good guy to keep off base. That's bullpen busy. Thornton, David Carpenter, who had been up last inning. And the breaking ball comes around to drop in for a strikeout. Number 8 for Steven Strasburg.
Nerves of steel, 1-run game. He goes 3-2 curveball to Freddie Galvis. Good frame by Wilson Ramos. Galvis geared up for the fastball. He can't believe it. The fanatic can't believe it. And Steven Strasburg will take it. Freddie Galvis struck out for the 3rd straight time.
Here's Dominic Brown. Last time we saw him, he was frozen between 3rd and home for the last out of the game Friday night. He's 2 for 14 career against Steven Strasburg. Great changeup. 88, a beauty. 1-1.
Seems like he's getting stronger, doesn't it?
Stuff is still good. Throwing that breaking ball, and it was just foul.
I'll tell you what, if I had Max Scherzer on my staff and I was one of the other 4, I'm not coming out of the game. There's no way when I'm watching that guy do what he does every 5th day. I mean, that's inspirational to us as fans. Imagine what it is to the other 4 guys on the staff.
Sure.
So, you know, maybe in the past when you get towards 100 pitches, you're thinking, I'm good. But not when you have a guy like Max Scherzer on your staff going out there every 5th day, showing you the way, showing you how to do it.
Fastball misses away at 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him! 89 on the changeup. 7 outstanding innings by Strasburg today. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he leads 3-2. Nasty. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. I don't know if they have boathouses like they do along the Schuylkill River here, but that is a gorgeous sight just west of the Rocky Steps here in Philadelphia. Steven Strasburg, 113 pitches, 68 strikes. Quite a day. Looks like Matt Dendecker will hit for him after Michael A. Taylor leads off against Luis Garcia here in the 8th.
9 strikeouts, 1 walk. Gave up just 4 hits. Throwing the off speed early for strikes. Throwing the off speed late for balls. Fastball was 99 at one time today.
Taylor.
Felix in, look out.
Just short. Galvis, and he pulled Ryan Howard off the bag, and Howard dropped the ball. Speed putting pressure on the Phillies defense. which in all honesty has not been a good defense throughout this season. That's why you run out every ball.
It's a sinker, and I think Ryan Howard, thinking he's going to have some contact with Michael Taylor, stretches as far as he can for that one. And Luis Garcia just showed somebody up.
They posted an error on Ryan Howard for dropping that throw. Their second of the day.
Well, if they gave Danny Espinosa a throwing error on that one and not Clint Robinson, then that's a throwing error on Freddie Galvis and not Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard stretched as far as he could for that baseball, and it was going into the runner, so I don't see how you can give Ryan Howard an error on that play.
Agreed. Matt Dendecker, that one boring in on him. Great speed at first. Nats trying to get a runner into scoring position here with the top of the order coming up to give the bullpen a little cushion the rest of the way. Another one coming right in there.
Help me out here. I mean, look how far he's reaching for that, and that's an error on him.
Yeah, it's a tough call on your own first baseman. By
the throw pulled his foot off the bag. Even if he catches that, his foot's not on the base. That's an errant throw. There goes the perfect game for the Philly scorekeeper, or the Philadelphia scorekeeper.
0-2. Dendecker still showing bunt. He had a base hit washed out yesterday. Hit his second big league home run here Friday night. A very important blow for the Nats in the 6th inning that got them their 4th and 5th runs in a 5-2 win. One-two pitch. He's going to take strike 3 and a breaking ball that comes back around. 1 out, 8th inning, Span next. Denard Span 0 for 2 career against Garcia. Another 2 times on base today. On base 19 games in a row. He's hit safely in 10 of 12. A double, a run, and a walk today. Going with that curveball, it came back in. 0-2. Ben Revere coming up. Cesar Hernandez, a switch hitter. Bottom of the 8th. Nats hoping to add on here. And Span trying to drop one into center. Second hit of the day. Taylor stops at second, and Denard Span on base, 3rd straight time. Quite an AB on an 0-2 count.
Multi-hit games in 5 of his last 9 games now. And Denard Span been doing it all today on offense. Watch him just stay back, let the ball travel, a little pepper, put it in play with 2 strikes. Good things happen. So a 2 for 4 with a walk and a run scored for Denard Span in this one.
And a big spot for Danny Espinosa now. 2 on, 1 out. The presence of Harper should be felt in this at bat. Bryce on deck. Espinosa 0 for 1 career against Luis Garcia. Ball tailing away. Good pitch.
Pitcher strike, not one you want to offer at 1-0.
Danny 0 for 3, but a sac fly that got the game back even in the 5th. His 22nd run batted in. Saw that same pitch this time and rode it out of play.
Hit in front of Barry Bonds a lot. And in situations like this, I used to tell myself I'm swinging like it's 3-1 because if I strike out right here, at least he's going to get a chance. Where a lot of times as a number 2 hitter, you're thinking put it in play, put it in play. But the thought of a ground ball is always in the back of your head when you have a guy like Bryce on deck. It really is.
And that one upstairs. Danny Espinosa couldn't get over the top of it. Garcia now will face Harper 2 on 2 out.
And when you're hitting in front of a guy like that, you don't care if you strike out. You're trying to drive a ball even with 2 strikes instead of just shortening up, put it in play, hit a ground ball, and then the guy like Harper or the superstar player on deck doesn't get up. So now Bryce gets to hit with some speed on the bases and 2 outs.
Yeah. Not the traditional there's a base open situation, but there's a base open, and it's Wilson Ramos next. Bryce Harper 0 for 3 with a couple of walks against Garcia, career. He's got that breaking ball working up in the zone, out to the outer edge of it. They say the more you throw, the closer you are to hanging the next one. And he goes outside with the heater, 95, 1-1. Hard breaking ball down and in as it ended up.
Nasty slider. Starts out a strike as soon as Bryce commits. Right at his back knee. Pretty good pitch from Garcia.
Can't think of a game this year when we've seen more right-handed pitchers throw more sliders and curveballs to left-handed hitters, and doing it effectively. Strasburg did it. 1-2 pitch with 2 outs, 2 on. Bounces that one. Good block by Rupp to keep Taylor at third.
That's the old, I just threw a great slider, I'm going to throw a better one. And there's no way that Luis Garcia could throw a better one than he did to Bryce for strike 2.
Three-two Nats, top of the 8th. They've out-hit the Phillies 9-4. So many opportunities today. The Nationals have stranded 4 runners in the last 2 innings, 10 on the day. They put constant pressure on the Phillies this afternoon. Harper, swing and a miss. And the top of the 8th is over. Now the Nats have stranded a dozen. It's up to the bullpen to get 6 outs.
Game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and we're going to look at Steven Strasburg's day and some big outs that he got. Cody Ashe with the bases loaded to end the sixth. Nice play by Clint Robinson. Walks by the skipper and gets a little bit of love, and that little Nux said that, hey, you're going out for the seventh. And he went out for the seventh, got a couple of strikeouts. Max Scherzer, first guy to greet him, so way to go. And Steven Strasburg, fantastic here today. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. And that's back-to-back nice ones for the big right-hander.
Nats lefty Matt Thornton takes over.
Got fastball 94, slider in the mid-80s, 28th appearance, 13 strikeouts versus 5 walks. And you see lefties hitting just .211 against Matt Thornton.
Ben Revere, Cesar Hernandez, Michael Franco.
Heads up for the bunt right here. He likes to bring it with him against left-handers. Not a good sacrifice bunter, but a good base hit bunter.
Revere 2 for 8 career against Thornton. Takes 93 in there. And looking at the bullpen, the Nats are keeping David Carpenter hot, possibly for Franco 2 hitters away.
So Matt Williams showing you what he's going to do in the 8th inning with a lead. He's playing matchup baseball. Last couple games, it's been Thornton against lefties and Carpenter against righties.
Switch hitter Hernandez on deck. And he's hitting much worse from the left side of the plate. And Matt Thornton does a pretty good job of carving up Ben Revere right there. And with that number I just mentioned, Hernandez hitting 186 left-handed. And Williams will bring in the right-hander to match up against him.
Yeah, good slider from Thornton for strike 3.
Got ahead with the heaters. Well done by Matt Thornton. So the all-important game 1 of the doubleheader, 5 outs to get. The Nats still lead by 1. Turning here today, Cesar Hernandez started the game against Steven Strasburg. He did go 1 for 3, but hitting well under 200 left-handed. Carpenter gets the call.
Fastball average at 95, slider 86. Occasional changeup, but pretty much a 2-pitch guy. 28th appearance for Carpenter, and you see the strikeouts to walks and the opponent's average at 253. This inning sponsored by the New York Yankees.
Who also gave us Tyler Clippard years ago, by the way. For Jonathan Albaladeo. Here's Cesar Hernandez, 1 for 3. Facing David Carpenter for the first time. Espinosa on the grass at third. getting ahead with 93. And the fastball, a little bit up and away. They are in the 13th inning now of the Reds-Mets suspended game. Justin DeFreitas will pitch the top of the 9th. Ramos, Moore, and Ugla, all right-handers, due up for the Nats. Soft little fly ball, left field, and Taylor will get to it and keep it in his glove with a good play, and Hernandez stays at first, 1 out.
Great effort by Michael Taylor. And even though he didn't make the play, when you leave your feet in a one-run ball game late, you have to keep the ball in front of you. If he dives for this, it gets by him or kicks one way or another, you got the tying run on second base. So great effort by Taylor, selling out, and maybe even a better job to keep that ball in his glove and keep Hernandez at first base. Hernandez 3 out of 6 in stolen base attempts this year.
Maikel Franco, he blooped one down the right field line and scored a run 2 innings ago. Pops it up a mile high. Dan Ugla still backtracking. He made the early call and stays with it, 2 outs.
He was doing the pop-up dance there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Left, right, finally got underneath it, made the play. Where's the pitch at? Top of the zone. Franco tried to go ambush.
Right glove, baseball, shades flying on that play by Taylor a moment ago. Now here's Ryan Howard, who's had a no-contact day with a couple of strikeouts and a walk. He's 0 for 2 career with a walk and a strikeout against the right-handed Carpenter. That's a whistling fastball. 95 to the outer half.
Some late run to that 95 too.
Upstairs, 96.
Well, that's what the Nats want David Carpenter to get back to, is that fastball and being aggressive with it. And New York, for whatever reason, kind of got away from it a little bit, threw a lot more sliders than he had in the past with the Braves. And being aggressive with that 96 early to Ryan Howard, you got to like that.
Runner on the move, and that's a short throw that Ian Desmond manages to keep near the bag. So they turn Hernandez loose. He has stolen 2 bags today.
Not a great jump by Hernandez. With the pitch away for Wilson Ramos, he was able to clear himself quick, get rid of it quick. And a tough in-between hop for Ian Desmond, and now a big pitch coming. Where was this pitch? I thought it was pretty close. No, it was definitely away.
Tying run, second base, 2 outs. Shift on, Desmond up the middle. Espinosa has to stay over on the left side, and that's by the bag foul.
It's where a veteran guy on the mound that's used to the 8th inning knows, don't be in a hurry to get this out. You know, make some pitches here. You can set up a pitch. But it had 1 and 2 to a pretty good hitter with first base open. Don't be in a rush. Make your pitch. Make him swing at your pitch until you have to come back in the zone. Maybe later in the count.
So close. near the inside edge with 96.
Well, he went with the front hip or tried to run it back at 96. What does pitch track think about it?
Could have been called either way. Paul Emmels had a tight strike zone all day.
Some umpires don't like to ring up hitters on called thirds. That was close. I mean, you still have a few pitches to play with if you're David Carpenter here. Don't have to throw a strike on this pitch.
Three-two Nats, bottom of the 8th. And the 2-2, right back to the screen.
Well, that's some good old-fashioned country hardball, isn't it? Here's my fastball. Here it is, hit it.
Carpenter home again, and it's upstairs, ball 3.
It's a good pitch. Trying to make him chase up, elevated it. I think Howard recognized it was outside more than it was up. And still, you got a base, 2 outs, right-hander on deck. Make your pitch. Make him hit your pitch and get beat with your best pitch.
And a 3-2 now. Got him with a slider down and in. Thornton and Carpenter put up a 0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies have stranded 5. Quite a pitching performance all the way through the staff today.
Saved the slider for the last pitch. Showed them all fastballs until this 3-2 slider, and Ryan Howard strikes out for the 3rd time.
All the guys, all about it. That was some 8th inning by Thornton and the right-hander.
Well, you like to see that. You know, guys talking about pitch selection. Max Scherzer, a guy loves to talk about pitching when he's not out there on the mound. But that was a good sequence. Fastball up and away. He didn't chase. Then threw him some fastballs in. He's thinking, I got to get to that fastball in. 3-2 slider under his hands. Nicely done by David Carpenter with a tying run on second. Huge.
Wilson Ramos 2 for 8 career against the new Phillies pitcher, Justin DeFreitas. Base on balls last time, 0 for 3 before that. And the fastball up and away. And that big rolling breaking ball sitting upstairs.
So 25 minutes between games in case you're wondering, so don't go anywhere. Good old-fashioned doubleheader. If you're a player, you run in, change unis, grab a Sando, power down 10 cups of coffee, and come out and get them for game 2. 4 Red Bulls.
So what's the preferred food item?
Something quick and light. You don't want to get too full if you're playing, because then you go food coma and you're out there just staring at the grass.
Yeah. 1-2 to Ramos with Tyler Moore and then Dan Uggla here in the 9th. Front door breaking ball had backed up and stayed inside.
Unlike the broadcasters who are going to crush some pizza and go straight food coma.
We did hear a pizza rumor in the media dining room between games. Ramos gets around late, hits it to right, and a ball misjudged by Dominic Brown. Then he has enough athletic ability to make up for it. He's had some adventures in the outfield in this series.
Yeah, it looked like he put the landing gear down a little bit too quick and then had to make an adjustment right here and dive for it. Kind of went back on that ball, maybe fooled by the Wilson Ramos swing. Good effort at the very end, selling out. We've seen some hats and glasses flying everywhere.
Tyler Moore, the hitter. Boy, that was big. Ramos inches from an extra base hit. The Nats have had 2 hits since the 6th when they scored those 2 runs. Tyler went. Ball game started at 1:07, and we hit 4 p.m. here in Philadelphia. BCFP DK, and we've got a whole nother ball game for you after this. Nats will get into Atlanta a lot later than expected tonight, but a day off tomorrow. Lots of work to do here. Braves are trying to close out the Pirates. They lead 2-0 in the 9th. Over in Pittsburgh, trying to break a 5-game losing streak. And Tyler Moore got one that was hanging a bit. Couldn't wait long enough.
I like Tyler Moore's 2-strike approach. He really takes a lot out of his swing, spreads out. Chokes up just a little bit.
Now the count 2-2. Way outside.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't listen to that fan.
One who hollered swing.
Yeah.
Well, he struck out. And Tyler Moore with a check swing that time. Ryan Howard to his right. Little backhand flip to DeFreitas. Well done. 2 outs. Phillies bullpen has shut down the Nats since they got 3 runs, 2 earned on the starter Correa in 5 1/3. Dan Uggla's had quite a day, 3 for 4. Batting average up to 235. It was 208 at the start of the day. Dan Uggla 1 for 4 career with a walk against Justin DeFreitas. And against Drew Storen in the bottom of the ninth, the Phillies will have Frank Core, the pitcher's spot, and then Cameron Rupp. They have 2 left-handed bats available, Odubel Herrera and a switch hitter Andres Blanco. Two-0.
Yeah, the new trend in baseball right now is everybody going commando with their jerseys, nothing on underneath. And I just don't know how they're doing it. I mean, you got buttons hitting you, even the backside of the curly W, the stitchy, the numbers. You can feel all that on a jersey without any undershirt. But it's what guys are doing in the big leagues now.
4-pitch walk. Uggla's aboard for the 4th time.
And it worked for 4 times on base for Dan Uggla today.
Now a shot for Ian Desmond. "30 minutes after last out, game 2 against the Phils. Nats extra. Johnny and Ray between ball games. And sometime during that time, we will find out who the Nats will start in that game." Desmond jammed in. That's close. Wow, did Freddie Galvis play that casually? Runs off the field like it was nothing, but that was very close to another Phillies unforced error. And the Nats may want to take a look at this.
Just the way the Phillies are going off the field will tell you that they don't think that he was out at second base. Good hustle again by Dan Uggla.
This is a challenge.
Has to be. Why not? In the
Sure.
9th inning? Can't take it with you. You don't get more for game 2. And from up here, it looked like he was safe. Let's all look at it again in slow motion. Wow. Look at Uggla playing hard. I mean, you have to love the effort, regardless of what the call is right here. Look at Dan Uggla playing hard. And did his foot beat it? Just another casual play by the Phillies infield today. We've seen it a few times. There's no sense of urgency. No. You saw it with Cesar Hernandez on the Uggla single. He beat that out. Dan Uggla hustling again. This is close enough to look at. We got to love the way Dan Uggla's playing baseball here today. He's playing hard.
We're not getting the usual reaction from the home crowd when they think the runner's out, so this is going to be very close. Looks like the headsets might be coming off pretty quickly. Well, now he just put his arms back down, did Paul Emmel. Paul Emmel, crew chief, home plate umpire on the left. And then the umpire who made the call, Andy Fletcher, on your right.
Former Atlanta teammates having a chat around second base.
Well, let's hope Jeff Francoeur has to head back out to left field. This is going on for a while.
And Galvis had trouble on the transfer, but like I said, he was not in that much of a hurry. You never want to rush as an infielder. You want to be quick and not be in a hurry. There's a big difference. But right there, I mean, just a nice soft toss, and Uggla really busting it in there. Sticks the landing too, right? Tough to tell. His foot on the bag right now. I mean, that's probably what's taking so long at different angles. The New York is checking out.
And meanwhile, Drew Storen standing around quite a while in the Nats bullpen. Throwing some tosses when he needs to. Pete McCannon waiting. The longer this goes, you would think, the better the possibility for the Nationals.
The longer this goes, you would think. That's it, because I have no idea.
Here they come. Runners out. Play stands. The Nats have stranded 13 runners And we're going to the bottom of the 9th inning with Drew Storen trying to nail down game 1 for Matt Williams and the Nats. Ray, 3 outs to get. Big day for Dan Uggla. 3 hits, a walk. And he almost, well, sort of stole second base there a moment ago. But now it's on to the bottom of the 9th. And Drew Storen, who came on to save the ball game on Friday night, gave up a couple of hits. And the 9th inning hasn't been real routine lately, but still throwing the ball well.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball. He'll cut the fastball as well at 94. Slider 83. And changeup 87, 88. Opponents hitting 226. Right-handers just 106 against Drew Storen this year.
First man up, Jeff Francoeur, 0 for 1 career against him. They've got Darren Ruff, a big, strong right-handed hitter on deck, who's 0 for 2 against Drew. And then the third hitter in this inning, Cameron Rupp, the catcher. The Mets just walked off the Reds in the bottom of the 13th inning to win their suspended game 2-1. Nats trying to take care of their business in game 1 right here. And the slider way outside.
Yeah, home run on a first pitch fastball. There's no way he was getting a first pitch fastball from Drew.
Yeah. That's a fastball hit out to center. Span broke back, and now he's in to grab it. Big power hitter takes that swing, and Denard able to cover it up at the end.
He's got makeup speed. I always say the toughest read for a center fielder is that line drive straight at you. Denard Span took a step back, recognized that it wasn't hit as well as he thought initially, and has the makeup speed to make it a routine play. Nice job.
So here's Darren Ruff pinch hitting for DeFreitas, as I mentioned, 0 for 2 career against Drew Storen with a strikeout and a fly ball. Another first pitch slider. Three-2 Nats. And another one well off the plate, 2-0.
Drew doesn't like the mound.
Checking the landing area.
Yeah, he's trying to get it right. That's the landing area. I always talk about how later in the game the infield dries out. Same can be said for the mound. Day games.
High fly ball to left. Michael A. Taylor under it, caught it. 2 outs.
Just
oh boy. That was a lot like for a pop-up, huh?
Yeah, that was a lot like the Dan Uggla fly ball in the second inning. Just got under it. He's thinking, I'm tying this game up. You got the fastball middle in. Drew Storen wanted it away and just got underneath it for the second out. And an out and out.
Cameron Rupp now, 0 for 3. He'll be facing Drew Storen for the first time. Runs the fastball back at 95. So with 2 outs, he throws the first pitch heater. Counts even, 1-1. Front door breaking ball. Deep short Desmond. Bounces the throw. Game over. Tyler Moore on the pick. And the Nats have won 8 in a row.
What a play to end this one, huh? 1-run game, you never know. Ian Desmond making a beautiful play. Going deep in the hole. Off-balance throw. Bounced it on purpose. Nice pick by Tyler Moore. Desmond did a nice job of bouncing it in the grass and not the dirt. It's an easier pick. And Drew Storen nailing down the save. Nicely done. Game 1 in the books. Just another lousy Curly W.
Number 23 for Drew Storen on the year. Steven Strasburg evens his record at 5-5. 3 hours and 7 minutes for a tight 3-2 ball game and a W. So join us for Game 2 of the doubleheader. We're about 30 minutes away. This has been a presentation of Mass, and Johnny and Ray will bring you up to date on everything coming up. And from the booth, see you later, and so long for just a while.